Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. It is time for the Premier Wrestling Draft. I am one of your lovely hosts for the evening. I am Joey Six, the one who's got yours. And to my right is a man who can make you an offer that you can't refuse. It is Into Corruption EOC. EOC, how you doing today?
I am doing fantastic, and I'm telling you, this is going to be one hell of an interesting draft we got going on today. There is some names flying around, and I'm telling you, if we hear those names, people's heads are just going to be rolling.
Oh man, are you you're not kidding. I'm excited for the possibilities that will be awaiting us. However, let's run down about this previous season a little bit before we get
Yeah.
started and toss things over to our GMs here. So, over on NAW, we've had some amazing storylines. Let's start off with the big shebang, which is you want to talk a little bit about the Danny and SMF events with the Jay Amosons.
That was one interesting back and forth battle they had going on there, but it all culminated in the end with those two going at each other's throats. And you know what? Danny ended up paying for it in the end.
That he did indeed. But with that being in mind, SMF still reigning undisputed champion. If you're interested, please go check out NAW season, NAW season finale. Sorry, the gummies are kicking in once again. But that being said, we also had some incredible stories here on Overload. Overload having probably one of my current favorite storylines of the season, the storyline of X and Hunter.
What is there even left to say about a story like that? I mean, the man was like a mentor the entire season, trying to wake him up, and he had his head stuck so far up his own doll that he didn't even realize that he had a choice. And in the end, we don't even know what's going to happen. I mean, the man just vanished into thin air.
There's definitely some scary stuff going on Overload. I'm kind of glad I work for the Red brand. The Red brand, though, equally having some crazy stuff.
The best side is always the blue side, and you know what? Overload is always going to be the OG.
If you say so. I think the new attitude definitely has been stepping up, and boy, has it been a new attitude these previous seasons.
Yes, I would say that new attitude has definitely been interesting. They keep up around the block every now and again, but I'm telling you, when it comes to just old fashioned, take them down storylines, nothing could beat the Overload.
Well, it's not our job to decide who is beating the Overload today. I think it should come down to what the draft's as, whether it's the NAW or Overload. It comes down to those lovely GMs up on the podium to decide just who is going to walk away the top dog at the end of this. Well, in reality, the fans will decide after today where's your favorite superstar going to roll up? Where's your favorite superstar going to go? Are they going to blue? Are they going to red? Are they not changing at all? Well, that's all the questions we definitely want to ask. But with that in mind, let's take it over. First off, we would like to introduce our GMs for Overload. It is LG. Lord Joffrey, how you doing there today?
Yeah, I'm excited to find out what is going to happen for my show. Not only the best show in the entire YouTube universe, the first ever original show, much better than the Red show over there. We are going to blow you away tonight with some of my selections, and you have no idea the names I have on this paper. Better have some good ones over there, Pagan, because I tell you, I'm going to destroy your choices tonight.
Well, that's certainly one way to do it, but after his lovely Stewie Griffin-esque rant there, let's take it over to our NAW GM, Mr. Pagan Roth. Pagan, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well, Joey. And I will agree with LG on one thing. There is some amazing things coming up here in our graph pig. But let's just look at it like this. NAW is the red band. We are red hot. We're not cold and look like a smurf, okay? unlike that blue brand. But let me tell you, the red brand has got some stuff that you will not expect, and then we are going to blow you away in season 3.
Well, you know
Both-
what? Season 3 is going to be interesting. But what I'll tell you is even more interesting. There is 6 names on this list today, and all 6 of them are superstars.
That's right. That is absolutely right. We've only got the cream of the crop, the best of the best. Every wrestler here is going to be phenomenal, but only 6 of the names are being announced, and more to come here in the future.
Yes,
But-
and why don't we let Lord Joffrey take over and give us a famous introductory speech and let us know exactly what's about to happen.
Oh, well, you see, we've got these 6 names on both of our sheets. Of course, my names are better than yours. But I am going to announce each one of the and you're going to see some of the selection. I'm free to go ahead and announce my first choice, I believe.
That I do believe you are, sir. If you would like to go ahead and tell us what your first choice is, let's see what you got.
Well, I wanted to start out the show. You don't get much bigger than a guy who's just made absolute waves on the NAW show. Somebody who, from the beginning until the end, has kept people absolutely speechless at every single one of his performances. One person who, I can only say, strikes thunder into the world of wrestling. None other than Danny Thunder.
Wow, did he
Now-
just say the Thunder?
Talk about the storm rolling in. Danny the Thunder, one of my absolute favorites, going over to Overload. Guess I'll have to tune in Thursdays and Fridays to check out Overload to see one of my favorites in the ring.
Yes, perhaps this is something to do with his crushing loss at the end of the season.
There's one thing I've learned about Danny the Thunder, it's that nothing can keep him down. I'm certain his appearance on Overload just means he's ready to bring the storm to blue skies.
I am sure the Thunder rolls on. Going to be interesting season already.
All right, Pagan, you have the floor. Please tell us who your first choice is, sir.
Well, Joey, before I begin my first choice, I prepared a little statement that I'd like to let all the fans hear. NAW, or New Attitude Wrestling, has just completed its 2nd season, and we're moving into our upcoming 3rd season. And we're showing strong viewership and followers among the wrestling fans. We strive to bring the best in Second Life Wrestling to you, our loyal fans. I took over in the middle of the season and was appointed by Trey Steele to do so. I brought surprises, I listened to the NAW fans, and I brought some core values back to NAW. There were changes that had to be made and issues to be taken care of. First, there was the need of order. The vision needed to be seen, and certain people needed to know their place. I wasn't going to let the Jameson clan try to run the show by taking out my predecessor. That's why I came up with the rules for them. And as you can tell by my leadership, they've been abiding by them so far. When I first heard about all the issues with Uncle Bobby and law enforcement getting involved, I had to do something. I did some of my own research and watched those surveillance videos. That's when I found out that not only had Maven poisoned a cornbread biscuit and given to Uncle Bobby, he also had placed those illegal drugs in Bobby's locker. Maven has had his motorcycle destroyed and has just went on a rampage about it. And one thing I do want to say publicly to Maven is karma is a bitch. And on our women's division, we're showing a strong showcase, the best in Second Life wrestling talent. Many of them are wishing for a little title shot to show what they're made of, and that they continue to show our fans just how talented they are. Expect more great things from them in season 3. And I'm not only going to let our fans know this, but I'm letting all of my roster know too. I will not put up with any wrestler that abuses our fans. Alexis Grant thought that he was above the fans and ripped up one of their signs. Guess he forgot how important they are. And I dealt with him the best way possible. He was put in a lumberjack match. I think he's learned his lesson. And that's what our fans like. That's what makes us number 1 over the blue brand. And there are two great champions that were both like brothers, but were corrupted by the Jameson clan. They caused hardship and nearly ruined their friendship to the core. But both men were able to fight it out one on one and determine who the undisputed champ would be. SMF and Danny Thunder showed us that championship matches are all about and how friendships can survive. NAW has the best wrestling champs. We have the Extreme Women's Jameson. As it pains me to say this, she is a fighter and can stand up by herself when no one else can. She can hold her own in the women's division. The question will be, will she be able to do that in season 3 to maintain her reign? Our hardcore champion, Harem, aka the Dark Prophet, did his championship reign. He's proven how tough he can be, and he is a hardcore champion to watch out for. And our undisputed champ, SMF, shows true talent and sportsmanship as a champ. He displays all the core values and quality that NAW brings to the wrestling community. In this Premier Wrestling Draft, I've chosen more talent to make NAW even greater. And I want to say thank you to the loyal fans. And just to note, unlike my extreme colleague, LG, I'm not a pompous ass. And I listen to the fans. Feel free to direct message me on Twitter and let me know your thoughts. The NWA roster lives for our fans, and we bring the most of them each and every week. We'll continue to be the best and best. Once again, I want to thank them all. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my first draft pick. My first pick I've chosen is someone that stands up to bullies, someone that's strong and stronger than they expect to be, someone that can bring extra power to the NAW women's division roster. I choose the one, the only Miss Honey Potts.
Now that is how you open a show. What a choice. First
Wow.
off, amazing statement by the GM of NAW, Mr. Pagan. But the selection of Honey Potts. Now that is how you kick off a show. Arguably one of the greatest here in not just in Premier, but in general when it comes to the female division. Absolutely phenomenal wrestler.
Beyond a superstar, she brings a bag of tricks like nobody else.
That's right.
They didn't give her the name the Trickster for nothing.
No, they did not. I would say that is one hell of a choice. And I would like to note something here tonight that a lot of people might have questions about. The 6 selections here tonight the prohibitions are no premier champions.
Correct.
So the premier champions are off limits for the draft. So as much to I'm certain LG's disgruntlement, as he probably would just take all the champions and run.
Exactly. Put all of the best of the best on the one side.
Mm-hmm. Oh, in any case, I do believe it is time for our second selection.
Oh, well, I also have a statement here. Let me just read it. It says on here. Let me have a close read. It says, "Oh, I'm a kiss ass to all of the fans out there. Oh, I will do anything you want me to do. Oh, I'm the best. Oh, I'm pagan, and I'll be the best of. Oh, yes, please like me. No one cares. The fans don't care about who they want. The fans don't care about what they think they need. Fans need to be told what they need. I'll tell you what, if you go about trying to give everyone what they want, you're going to very quickly realize that your show is going to go very quickly under. Because my show has the aggression, it has the determination, and it's been around much longer than your show. So I tell you what, all you people, instead of giving you a long, rolling background look onto what happened in the last season, like Mr. Pagan over there, why don't you get off your arses, go out there and buy the DVD and watch the damn season, rather than me telling you what went on? Oh, yeah, you've got any idea how you're supposed to make money in this business? You tell them what they did. Go and watch it. Go and see it. Go and like the videos. Pathetic. And you know what else is pathetic? There's people out there who who are coming to the Fed and they believe that, prancing around, doing silly dances in the ring and being so beautiful and, oh, look at me, I've got a beautiful dog, or, oh, look at me, look how cute my costume looks. Well, I'll tell you what, in Premier Wrestling, that won't get you far. And that's why my second selection is somebody who puts an end to people like that. It's none other than Bobby Basher.
There you go. Taking it to the face and knocking out everyone who thinks they're just so much better. The Basher comes to Overload.
Really? Someone complaining about playing to the fans. I'm sorry, how's your EOC Foundation doing?
Oh, we're doing excellent this year. Revenue's way up. And you know why? Because we tell everybody exactly where to stand. Or else.
I'm suddenly glad I'm on the red brand once again. That being said, it's an absolutely phenomenal choice. I will say Bobby Basher is a great choice. But with that in mind, let's see what our GM of NAW has for his second selection. Pagan, the floor is yours.
Unlike LG, the red brand keeps bringing things more and more forward. We don't just sit around twiddling our thumbs or thumbing through our books that actually make wonderful toilet paper. And promoting coffee, yeah, they're really good so you can take a shit and wipe at the same time with this book. I think that's probably one of the best things he's ever came up with, especially on his own. But, let me tell you something. When you are out here in Second Life in the world of sports entertainment, let me tell you, when you excel in sports, period, in Second Life, people take notice. When you can transform from being one of the most famous basketball stars in SL to the wrestling scene, you know you have to be a part of NAW. And that's why I've chosen Mr. Sean Watkins to join the NAW team.
Great selection once again. One of the best athletes in SL today, Sean Watkins. Major star, absolutely phenomenal. Have seen him in the ring enough to know that he goes out and puts on incredible performances. So just really goes to show just how well thought out our performers have picked out. I'm like 90% positive LG just listened to whatever Trey told him to pick and was done with it. But hey, what do I know? I don't work over there.
Exactly. You don't work over here, and if you did, the Foundation would find many uses for somebody of your particular non-talented brand.
Oh, non-talented. I guess it takes one to know one. That being said, speaking of non-talent, LG, the floor is yours.
Oh, fair play. Megan, finding somebody who is a returning star or brand, that is a very good move, I have to say. But you see, this is where our differences are. You're looking at people who have been a part of Premier and have made a name for themselves, left, returned. I'm looking wider field. You see, whilst you've been sitting on your butt, signing your papers, looking through your drawers, and typing up your reports, I've been traveling the grid, going show after show after show, finding new talent. And that brings me through. You've never seen him before on Premier Wrestling, but you may have seen him across the grid. He is none other than Lux Tesla.
I'm sorry, what?
Multiple time long reigning champion coming to Overload. Step outside the box to find the champion.
The reigning European champion of FPW. We are talking 165 days and counting champion. Lights out himself. Lux Tesla. Oh, Damn, what did you do, LG, to get that one? Who were you paying off to get him over here?
Look.
Bravo. I dislike the man, but bravo for getting someone that incredible here at Premiere.
It's all about having talent, and when you have somebody with the title of Lord, you know you're gonna get the best.
Every time you give any sort of compliment to LG, I feel like I need a shower.
Yes, I'm sure you would love to shower and possibly change that grungy-looking suit. But you know what? We should go ahead and let Pagan just finish up his last little pick. I'm sure it'll be amazing, kind of.
Well, thank you so much, Joy. And
Beat that.
I'm going to. Trust me, when I travel, LG, I go up and down the grid. Unlike you, I don't ride a camel because probably the only hump you'll ever get when you're riding up and down on the grid. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about finding things out on the grid and traveling the grid and searching wide and hard for things that you need to bring into NAW. My next choice for the NAW draft is a man who has traveled up and down the grid for a long time and has a long history of strong matches under his belt and has a lot of season experience. That's why I have got Brandon Ghost joining the NAW roster.
Whoa! A
Oh,
incredible choice. 8-time world champion in boxing and MMA with an incredible 83-16 record. 46 knockouts under his belt. That's over half his matches. Mr. Ghost. Oh, my lord. Man, it's going to get dangerous over there on NAW.
right. It looks like we're gonna have to get a couple more casket matches going on because he's probably gonna take a couple of people out. You know what? All the better for Overload. Less competition.
I'm just saying, they don't call him Ghost for nothing because he'll knock the soul out of you.
Exactly. Devastating blows. When it comes to strikers, nobody beats an MMA artist. Am I right?
That's very true, but with that in mind, let's go ahead and do our quick recap, and we'll get
Yes.
let's take things over. For Overload, they've started things off hot with Danny the Thunder. And they picked up Barbie Basher, and then rounded it out with Mr. Lights Out himself, European champion Lux Tesla.
What can you even say? You got somebody who's the Rolling Thunder and a world champion who's still standing after that many days. And Barbie? Come on. Do we even have to say anything?
There's a lot we could say, but nothing that I could say friendly on this show, especially when it comes to talking to UEOC. But back to the other brand, we're talking on NAW. They started things off with the legendary trickster herself, Honey Potts, then picked up the athlete Sean Watkins and rounded things out with a knockout king himself, Brandon Ghost.
Some definitely interesting picks. I mean, you're picking up one of the top women in the whole roster, one hell of an athlete, and another striker joining the Premier brand, this time going to the NAW side.
That's right. We've got two. If there's one thing that's really selling our next season of NAW, it's going to be that athlete professionalism, that true tell of a sport. This is going to be great season for NAW and for Overload. But with that in mind, folks, each GM has 3 choices left, and no one is safe except for the champions. So,
Exactly.
anybody can be here.
Speaking of champions, there was a guy a long time ago, and I remember him stepping into the ring, and he took his boots, and he dropped a Mafia Buster, maybe even a Rose Drop or 2. Because you know what? I think it's time for the EOC to get back in the ring. Who knows where I might end up?
Hopefully in a place that I can watch you get dropped on your head. I mean, well, I think it's time for Overload to come back. LG, do you have your selection ready, sir?
Yes, I certainly do. I got to say, Pagan, But Brandon Ghost was a good choice. Do I think my 3 were better than your 3? Of course I do. Come on, people. You- But anyway, yes, I do. You see, with Overload, I like to keep a tight ship. Some people say that, I can be a bad guy. Some people say that I keep things pretty tight around. Unlike you, who tends to give people what they want, I tend to give the fans what they need. And people have said in the past, that they almost run things military style. So I thought, I know exactly who I need on my show to keep things regimental. None other than Brie.
Black Ops Brie. That is a heck of a choice. A very good call by Mr. LG. I'll give credit where credit is due. When he picks a choice, he picks a choice.
Yes. Everyone throw a salute because the Black Ops have come to Overload.
That's right. Former Extreme Women's Champion Black Ops Brie joining the Blue brand. Stand at attention because when she hits the ring, it's going to be like a frag going off.
Talk about explosive seasons.
Indeed, it's shaping up for the next season's going to be absolutely a showstopper.
Yes, it is. Mr. Pagan, why don't you let us know what your retaliation is?
Well, so far I brought you 3 incredible talents for NAW. So, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I wanted someone that's a little different, a little bit of things we need. So my next choice, I'm bringing a little bit of Florence Nightingale and a little bit of Lizzie Borden to the women's division. She's known for her bedside manner. The one and only Nurse Abby will be joining the NAW women's division.
Now that is a choice and a half.
The naughty nurse herself comes out to play for the red team.
The Miss Abby, aka a former women's champion. She had an incredible season and just absolutely was able to prove that she is one of the top performers day in, day out. And trust me, you do not want to be on the receiving end of the fury that she can bring.
Exactly. You know what? When it comes to being shocking, she certainly knows how to make the paddles fly with that special little toy of hers.
Keyword toys, because let's not forget that she's got some great bedside manner with that bedpan of hers as well.
Right? You might get a bedpan to the face. You might take a little bit of a defibrillator to the chest. You never know what's gonna happen.
Yep, just like we won't know what happens until we ask. So, LG, the floor is yours. Tell us your 5th choice, sir.
Oh, earlier, Pagan, you said that we keep going with the same thing over and over and over again on our Overload brand, whilst you're trying to push the boat out on NAW and, really, really improve things. But what I've seen, really, is you thinking inside the box. See, you really want to shock people and you really want to expand out the new side, then you're going to need new talent. And I thought, you know what? We need somebody who has got some experience, who's been around for a long, long time, and somebody who's really got a name for themselves across the grid. Somebody who's really found themselves as a wrestler. And I was thinking, our talent's so fantastic here, but we need somebody who can just slide into our talent and be able to continue what we're doing here. I can think of none other one person stand against some of the talent here, really put on a show. None other than Nitro Kicks. Oh, he's gonna be fun.
10-year veteran on the grid coming to Overload. How can you even top a pick like that. Nitro Kicks, bringing it and going to kick things up with a little nitro. Just all things intense.
Man, oh man, you are right indeed. That is Mr. Indy himself, Nitro Kicks, coming out and proving that the show will go on. Coming over to the Blue brand. Oh man, I am just... Oh, that's going to be good. But still got a few more choices to go. So with that in mind, Pagan, please take it away, sir.
You know, I do want to address one thing. LG said I don't think outside, that I think only inside the box. I think outside the box. I don't live in one like he does. So let me kind of give you guys something. In NAW, we don't hold back from genies or dark prophets. So why not bring a little bit of voodoo to see what we do in the form of a witch doctor who brings his unique style of both metaphysical and physical skills to the ring? Join me in welcoming Pog to our roster.
Mr. Hoodoo himself. Hoodoo the voodoo like Pog does.
Yes.
My goodness.
He is gonna bring the hoodoo magic to the red side. I mean, we've already seen him work a little bit of that mystical mumbo jumbo in the ring. What's he gonna bring to us next?
Man, the set up for the skulls and crossbones, get ready for the chills and thrills. Pog hitting the red brand like the blood in the water. It's gonna be a good time over at NAW, I'm certain. Alrighty, folks. With this in mind, it is time for the final two selections. With this in mind, Mr. LG, your last choice, sir.
Well, I've given some really good choices so far. Of course, the best choices for tonight. The best of anything. Also, if you do want to get a hands on my book, it is still available. I'm going to be bringing something new out, but Being the Greatest by Lord Jeffrey is available in all your best bookshops. So I wanted to finish off tonight pretty big. I wanted to make sure that my last pick was something spectacular. And you know what? Don't get much bigger than the biggest guy currently in Premier Wrestling. I'm not talking about fame. I'm talking about size. None other than the chicken-loving, cornbread-eating Uncle Bobby.
Woo! Uncle Bobby!
We gonna get some chicken and cornbread on the overload. Ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Bobby, the thug himself, coming to the blue side.
Uncle Bobby. That is a choice and a half. We're talking about a monster of a man. Every time he comes out, I'm scared that the ring is gonna snap just from his sheer appearance alone. And that's not even to say that man can fly. If you ever see him throw a Con Air, you're pretty positive you just watched a B-52 bomber take off.
Talk about scary. Seeing somebody that size coming down on top of you. That's a bad day.
Once again, glad I'm on this side of the announce table and I don't go in the ring.
Right?
Well, with that in mind, it is time for the final selection for the red brand and the final selection for this episode of the NAW Premier Wrestling Draft. So, with that in mind, Mr. Pagan, please give us your final choice.
Well, Joey, my last pick is a monster. Not only in size, but in the wrestling world. NAW chooses Brody Hellwalker to join the NAW brand.
Now that is the way to set it up. Uncle Bobby may be big, but we're talking about a true demon slayer, a true monster among men. Mr. Hellwalker himself. After his recent season coming off against the likes of Ace and Father Freud, this is just woo. NAW better be ready because there is a new king in town.
King. That is a new King Kong in town. That man stands in at 7 foot of solid beef.
That's right. I'm pretty positive that man could carry the entire ring above his head with one hand. He's not just
Yeah.
big, he is strong.
I'm pretty sure he's the only person on the roster that could get Uncle Bobby off his feet.
I certainly wouldn't want to worry about seeing those two collide. I don't pay for kaiju matches. But that in
Right.
mind, wow. Wow, oh wow, guys. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. Look,
Yes.
these 6 choices are absolutely awesome. Let's hear some final words from our GMs though before we do our wrap up for tonight's evening. LG, would you like to say anything about your choices or possibly your opponent's choices?
No, I think what is said has been said about how I feel about the NAW brand. You know, I was part of the beginning of that, and I feel like where I am now is the best place. But what I do want to say is that watch the last season and you saw what happened. You see, season 13's coming up, and I've got some plans for some of these 6 people above, but also people like Hunter and the other people, maybe like Xander and other people who've been in our show following what happened last season. I don't forget, I don't forgive, and I do continue to make and break and shake things up. So if you liked what you saw last season, make sure you tune in to the best show that we have on Premier Wrestling, Overload. I'll be very
Oh,
Powerful
strong words.
words. Yes.
Indeed.
You know what? They may be powerful words, but let's see what the red side has to say. Any closing words, Mr. Pagan, after those unfortunate picks? I mean, your picks.
Well, first off, let me tell you, I think the Red brand has chosen the best that's out there. We are going to be bringing more and more, as you can see. And let me tell you, our commentary team, our roster, I just want to say this to you all. I want to thank everybody on my roster for all the hard work that they put in. NAW is strong. We're bringing things. We're showing what makes NAW the premier brand. We put premier in Premier Wrestling with NAW. I want to say the roster, thank you. My commentary team, Dante, Joey, and of course, who can forget the amazing Miss Nene? I have to say that they are the best. I have the best possible show with my roster, my commentary team, and everybody that works for us. Now we're going to prove that we're even better than the Blue brand. Just see what we bring you in season 3. Just wait, folks. Just wait. And if you want to talk to me, you want to tell me about something, direct message me on Twitter. I'll be more than happy to talk to you.
Great words indeed. And if you're interested and you're on the SL grid, checking out Overload or NAW, we'll be happy to tell you all about that. Hit us up on Discord, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Facebook. All these great places and more. And you can keep up with Overload and NAW and more all there. But with this in mind, we've got the 6 great choices. Overload has now Danny Thunder, Arby Basher, Lights Out Luck Tesla, Black Ops Bree, Nitro Kicks, and Mr. Uncle Bobby, Uncle Bobby, Uncle Bobby.
Yes. I mean, ended it off strong. Bring in the cornbread and chicken. The big man steps onto the blue side.
And, of course, with the Red brand, we started off strong with Honey Potts and Sean Watkins and Brandon Ghost, and what great choices indeed.
Certainly beyond interesting on both sides. And I'm telling you, no matter which show you choose to support, obviously it's going to be Overload. You're going to have a great time.
Great time indeed. And we look forward to seeing all this and more in the next season. So, like I said, feel free to join us on Discord so you can keep up when Season 13 and Season 3 start up very soon.